When it comes to clarity, an interesting study was done by Stanford University and Columbia University in New York, not Missouri, just in case anybody was wondering. And they wanted to find out, does clarity of message or simplicity, not stupidness, not dumbing it down, but simplicity or clarity of message, does that help people take more action or not? And so they wanted to do is test this with, of all things, jams and jellies. Everybody know the famous jams and jellies story of, or the research here? They went to a high-end grocery store. They set up a special standalone display, and they set up 24 different kinds of jams and jellies. Okay, boysenberry, loganberry, huckleberry, any kind of different sized jars, all this kind of different things. They set it all up, something along these lines, and they observed people as they came into the store, and whether they bought or didn't buy, did they pick it up, did they look at it, and they did videotaping and all this sort of thing. They then took the exact same study, or the exact same setting, and they shrank it from 24 down to 6. They went from 24 down to 6. They also observed what people did or didn't do. Here was their conclusion. They found that when it came time to get out the wallet or get out the purse and make a purchase intent went up 10 times when they had fewer choices. In other words, fewer choices, it was easier for them to understand and easier to process than walking, oh wow, all this different stuff. So too often we think more options have to be better, not always the case. Another same group of researchers went to 401k plans, all right? Now let's just pretend it's a different time when the 401ks might have been a little bit stronger. But they want to look at participation in 401ks based on the number of funds available, the number of fund choices, okay? So across 500 different companies, they looked at the high end being 59 different funds being offered. Okay, that's quite a few number of funds, right? Small cap, large cap, aggressive growth, this and that, companies that start with the letter Q. I mean, there's all sorts of funds out there, right? And then they also looked at companies that offered as few as 9. Very simple, bond fund, this and that. They found at the larger choices, when they had way more choices out there, participation went down by almost 20%. And the real crime was the people who did participate had way too conservative of a portfolio based on their life stage or where they should be investing. It's almost like they opened up the book or went online and just click, 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 and I'm done. Whereas when they shrunk it down to 9, participation went right back up to where it should have been, as well as the fact that people participated at the appropriate level of investment and they were appropriately aggressive. All right? So here's the conclusion they came up with. A confused mind always says no. I mean, think about that. When you're trying to make any kind of big purchase or any kind of big decision, I don't care whether you're buying an appliance, a condo, a car, a house, whatever, the second it gets confusing, the second it gets slightly, I'm not sure what's going on, you're just going to shut it down and say, all right, I may not like the devil I have, but the devil I don't know is too scary, right? And so what does that mean for us then as communicators? You want to be clear. How can you zero in and just be crystal clear and focus on what you want your audience to do, think, or feel? In fact, that's our question here. Is to answer this question. It's right there on your handout. If you can answer this in one sentence, you'll be way ahead of the pack. And you're trying to communicate anything, what do you want the audience to do, think, or feel? One sentence. But the other cool thing is that it can also help you if you're teaching, let's say you're teaching something that's not the most pleasant subject. I'm sure it doesn't happen here, but let's say you're something that's maybe either dry or maybe it's even a slightly bit, it's a harder thing to do. You're trying to correct something that's going wrong out in the field or one of the branches. In fact, let's say there's something that's going on that, let's say there's a policy that's not being followed correctly. There's some kind of compliance issue. There's something that's being misapplied or misused or something. Well, how many here, and just quick, love to hear it from you, how many here have a word or a phrase that just, when they use it incorrectly, just drives you crazy? Shout it out. What words? Okay, the point is moot. Yeah, that's a good one. The point is moot. I heard someone else say irregardless. Boy, that's a real championship word, right? Irregardless of our recent findings, I sound like an idiot. Well, my favorite word that is misused all the time is the word literally. Because people say it all the time when they really mean figuratively. A couple examples. They'll say, that made me so mad, it literally drove me up the wall. If you could do that again, I would love to see that. Or I was so sad, I literally cried my eyes out. Gross. Both eyes coming out. The surgeon did a great job. They put both of them back in the right place. But perhaps the best misuse of the word literally came from, of all places, National Public Radio. The gold standard of journalism excellence. And the reporter said, true story, the untimely death of FDR literally catapulted Harry S. Truman into the White House. Now, I was a history major. I don't remember seeing the catapult at all. But wouldn't that be great if they could add the catapult to the inaugural ceremonies? I'm thinking a lot more people would tune in, you know? You're looking at Super Bowl type numbers there, my friend. And again, regardless of what happens in fall, one side's going to win, people are going to be happy, one side's going to lose, going to be unhappy. What a great cathartic, healthy thing. Oh, you want the White House? Okay, strap in. You're going. But then, just like the word literally is being misused or misapplied, or sometimes people use irregardless incorrectly, so is this aspect of our compliance, or so is this aspect of this policy, or this part of our branch operations, whatever it is. Go ahead then and tie in what you just made them laugh about to a serious learning point, and you help anchor that together. You need to be able to connect what you're talking about with, because down here, whatever you're trying to promote or sell or get going on in your organization, the down here, the levels, the details, people can argue and fight and get all bent out of shape over. However, as you go higher up the ladder, as you get higher up the vision ladder, where things people can't argue with, and you connect those, people have a harder time saying, no, we don't want to provide really good customer service. We don't really want to outserve our clients. We don't want to provide a great value. Everyone's going to agree with that kind of stuff up here. And never was this more clear than when I ran our intern program at an advertising agency for 6 years. I found very quickly that if I did just one extra thing when I gave direction to these underlings, that these wonderful summer interns, I did one little thing differently, I got dramatically better results in what they produced. So think about typical intern jobs, right? Go make 500 copies of this handout. Go make 16 of these binders, just like this. You know, go organize the file room. Or go to our competition and take 15 pictures of their newest display. And they kind of go, thank you, sir, and they kind of go off and do their thing, and they come back. However, if I took that exact same direction, and all I did was add this, hey, would you go make 500 copies of this? This, by the way, is for the national sales meeting of our biggest client. They're going to use this as their incentive program. The better they understand and have these documents in their hands, the more they'll be able to sell and actually reach their goals, et cetera, et cetera. Or please make 15 copies of this binder. We're going to use it in a big new business pitch. It's a $3 million account. We cannot get to that account. We cannot win this account without those binders. So if we win this account, you can say, hey, I helped do that. And sure enough, that kid's going to say on their resume, I helped win a $3 million account, right? But they said if you added up the number of people who said they helped come up with the Got Milk campaign, you could fill like Busch Stadium, right? So, or probably a couple of Busch Stadiums. But in a very real sense, that young kid was doing that. If they didn't help us do that, someone had to. Why not let that be them? They helped us win a $3 million account. Or go down and take 15 pictures of our competition's latest display. And as they do that, we're going to use that to help create better materials for us so our client can succeed. But what we're doing is we're connecting the idea of the mundane. We're taking the mundane and making it marvelous. We're taking the kind of the ho-hum and making it amazing. So who are my list makers, by the way? Who are the folks like to make lists and check them off? Did you know that every time you write someone a list, you go do it, you come back and you check that off, there's a little mini endorphin release. It's like, oh. And by the way, I'll do this all the time, and feel free to do it yourself. I'll go out and do stuff I forget to put on my list. After I've done it, I'll go and write it in. Try it sometime. It is a rush, you know. And if you have a real lazy weekend, you can just, wake up. Awesome, you know. Eat a box of Oreos. Done that. So, and this feels great. So give that a shot sometime. But it makes you feel wonderful, and that's right now why we're laughing. Temporarily, you can't help it, but you actually start to feel good. And so hopefully you're feeling good already, because this has been a great day, by the way. But it also does some things like it helps your immune system temporarily. It boosts your immune system. It helps your respiratory system. It helps your circulatory system. All these things are working together. And so we talk about learners. We want our learners and our attendees in our programs to be comfortable. We want them to be relaxed. And what better way to do that than to get them to laugh from time to time? So if you can get them to chuckle and laugh here and there as you're doing your learning, it will help them feel more relaxed and hopefully open up, especially if there's some things you have to teach that are more difficult than others. It's a great way to do that. If you think about communicating an idea, a proposal, a thought, a vision, whatever it might be, if you can just simply make it clear, connect it to your goals, be creative, and add a little contagious factor to it, then you'll find you'll have a much better hit rate or a much better success rate than not. And I really believe that great communicators, great leaders are made, not born. And I thank you for your time.